California's 21st Congressional District. Jim Costa, live from Washington, D.C. Good morning, Congressman, and as always, thank you for joining us.
Well, thank you. It's always great to be on Great Day.
So let's just get right to it, because a lot has happened since we spoke to you last month, and I got to start you off with how are you processing the current state of the U.S. House of Representatives and what's going on with the Speaker position?
Well, it's a very sad situation. The fact of the matter is we need to have a speaker to conduct our business. We have passed the budget deadline. We're operating on a continuing resolution that will fund government till November 17th, but there's no certainty that we're going to avoid a government shutdown then. We can't pass bills, the budget bills, to the floor to get into conference committee right now. So with the world on fire and the challenges with the horrific killings in Israel, 1,400 Israelis that were killed, over 4,000 injured. Ukraine, the situation in Taiwan, the House of Representatives needs to be doing its job, and we can't do it with the chaos and turmoil within the Republican conference.
Did that add to any surprise you might have had with seeing fellow California Congressman Kevin McCarthy lose his seat?
Well, I felt that he was in a difficult position when he was able to achieve the speakership back in January. He had made so many conditions to get the votes to, after 15 ballots, to become speaker. He allowed basically one member of his own conference to be able to move to vacate the chair. And that's an untenable position. And so it did not surprise me, and now we're in a situation where I think we really need to come together with some sort of a coalition speakership that reflects what the American people want us to do, which is to do their business.
Now, I know we've seen Congressman Jeffries do pretty well in this current speaker voting, but and that's with your party. Is there somebody across the aisle that if you had your druthers, that you would like to see voted in as Speaker of the House?
No, I think there are a number of Republicans that have credibility and respect on the Democratic aisle. Steve Womack from Arkansas is well respected. Tom Cole from Oklahoma. There are a number of members there that I've served with for years that would be acceptable. Jim Jordan led an insurrection on January 6th to overthrow a fair and free election. He was part of the whole attempt with President Trump to undermine a peaceful transfer of power. And his notion of firebrand partisan politics, I don't think, is what we need today. He actually did not get the amount of votes yesterday that he was hoping he would. We'll see what happens today when the votes go up on the floor of the House.
Any optimism on your part about getting a vote done today and actually having a speaker in place?
Probably not today. My colleague, Congressman Valadao, would be a better, I think, gauge. My sense is that we've got several more days to work through this. I hope sooner than later, before the end of this week, that we will have a Republican speaker in place that can represent the entire House and has bridges with the Democratic caucus.
And of course, we will speak with Congressman Valadao here in just a little while. But I do have to ask you about the conflict in Israel and Gaza. You did talk about it a little bit earlier. I do find it hard to believe that Hamas was able to plan an attack on Israel for 2+ years without any detection from Israel or the U.S. intelligence community. How does something like this happen without our knowing?
Well, clearly there was a tremendous oversight, a lack of oversight, I should say, by the Israeli intelligence agencies. We worked together, but I think the distraction within the turmoil and among the Israeli politics caused them in part to take their eye off the ball. I don't think that they understood that Hamas, which is dedicated for two purposes: one, to destroy the state of Israel, and two, to kill Jewish people as an agent of Iran, were so in deep in planning this attack. Clearly there are lessons to be learned on this, and we're working together on that to ensure that it doesn't happen again. But in the meantime, we've got one front on Gaza. We have the potential impacts of Hezbollah there at Lebanon, and what may happen on other fronts is of grave concern. That's why President Biden is in Israel today. We have 2 strike forces now in the Mediterranean to ensure that Iran and Hezbollah and others don't get the idea that somehow we're taking our eye off the ball. The president's been unequivocal in his support for Israel, and he has made it emphatically clear, don't think about doing this. And I think that our support for Israel continues to be strong. We obviously, not only for the Israeli people, but the Palestinian people in Gaza, the humanitarian assistance must be a part of this effort. There's almost 2 million Palestinians in Gaza, and they're the ones who are feeling the brunt of this conflict that Hamas has started because they did not want to see expansion of Saudi Arabia in their peace negotiations become a part of the Abraham Accords. As a result of that, I believe Hamas decided to attack Israel to disrupt those peace negotiations taking place with Saudi Arabia and Israel.
Lots going on over there overseas in Israel and Palestine. And here at home, Congressman Costa, thank you as always for your time and your perspective on these matters. We'll see you again very soon.
Serious challenges facing our nation and the world, to be sure.